So Tony, it's been almost a year. Where I was telling you earlier that since you played Awake for the first time, right here in the south of London, right?
Absolutely, yes. Here at the Bedford in Balham. This is where I did the very first shows and kind of developed the whole concept.
Yeah. Why Awake? Why is it called Awake?
Well, the show was based on an album that hasn't been released yet, but I recorded it in 2021, and it was crazy times. It was the second lockdown. And really it's about being awake to love and being awake to the positive energy in the world, because everything seems so dark and negative, and I wanted to do something very positive.
So one thing that impressed me of your shows, which I've seen quite a few times, is the visual aspect of it. So when you were writing those songs, which appear in Awake, did you always have the visuals at the back of your mind?
Yes, actually I created the visuals almost simultaneously. As soon as the music was finished, I was putting together the imagery and the video that would go with it. And this was during the second lockdown, so I was doing live streams all the time. And every time I finished a new song for the album, I would do a live stream performance, but with green screen, and I'd create an imaginary big stage, and I'd have the video behind me of the footage. And from that we would kind of test everything out and see how it worked.
Fantastic. In a few months' time, you'll be touring with your old mate Steve Harris, I've heard. So how do you feel about immersing yourself in the metal scene after so many years?
Well, I'm really excited. You know, although my musical career has taken many paths, I've always been a massive fan of rock and metal, and I've been to almost every Maiden tour, more or less, that I could get to over the last 40 years, 35 years, whatever. But with British Lion, which is Steve's other band, which I've seen quite a few times and love a lot, I'm just really thrilled that they invited me to open for them.
You met Steve recently. What did you say between you? Did you reminisce on the times?
We have been in touch quite a bit over the last few years, and we talked a lot on the phone, even in different parts of the world. But yeah, do you know, it's like when we talk, it's like it's still 1977 in a weird way. It's still the same ambitions to do very colourful, big dramatic theatrical music, and yeah, it's very comfortable.
Of course, you played with keyboards with Iron Maiden in the late 70s, but you're also quite a multi-instrumentalist. So when you think of a melody in your mind, what instrument do you think of to bring it to life?
That's a good question, actually. To be honest, I usually create the melody on the instrument that I start writing on. So I don't usually have an idea for something and then think, oh, this is a guitar thing or this is a keyboard thing. I just kind of start with an instrument and then it develops into the song.
Excellent. The last thing I want to ask, this Awake, it's been ready for several months. When is it going to be released?
2024 it's going to be coming out. I still have a few things on the final recorded version that I need to polish up a little bit and change, because after doing the show for nearly 2 years, the songs have really grown into a whole direction I didn't expect at the beginning.
I assume you had chance to polish them up.
Exactly. So sometime in 24.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Tony, and I'm looking forward to the gig tonight.
Thank you, Chris.